Woohoo!
Oh, oh my gosh, a happy birthday song. I love it.
Well, I figure if it's the birthday of my book, so it just kind of made sense, and I went, okay, maybe YouTube will like this one because we always have to be aware of the audio and how it goes on YouTube. So, anyways, welcome everybody who's watching live, who's watching on the replay, who's watching on LinkedIn, who's watching on YouTube, and all the else. I'm in a silly mood today because dancing dachshunds with balloons. It's my book launch party, and I'll go live if I want to. So that's the theme of today. And lovely Annette Richmond, my dear friend, decided, yes, I will come live with you. I will be in the co-pilot seat. And this is just fun. We just want to talk about my book, but we always want to talk about live and live video. And I told Annette before we went live today that this is a really great follow-up to our LinkedIn for Authors Masterclass, which if you don't watch that, you can still go back and watch the replay. We did that last week, and we had so much to say in an hour that we actually ran out of time. And one of my little banners was live video. And I had said to Annette, if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. Well, we didn't have time. So here it seems really, really appropriate to talk about the role of live video and how authors can make use of it. So one is a book launch party like this. This is totally informal. Threw this together like 2 days ago. So this is just not the norm, but you know what? Impromptu is cool. So, maybe it should be the norm. Maybe we don't have to do the long scheduled, 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the book launch event. So, everything is good. And so anyways, I want to just go ahead and hit the banner and tell people, please tell us where you're joining from, because we want to know where you are, where in the world you are, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. And then this is the book that I'm launching today. It's called, we got matching books here. This is awesome. I love it. What book should I write? And I got to look up the title because I can't remember things. Stop overthinking it and choose your business book topic. So that's the baby book I'm launching today. There is a special link. And so here is the link if anybody's interested. There is a launch price today, 99 cents for the Kindle. Then it goes back up to the regular price. And I'm just going to do it through the whole weekend. So it's like, it doesn't have to just be today on Friday. You can get it on Saturday and Sunday. So replay people, just know you're not going to be like left behind. No replay team member gets left behind. You can still get in on it. And if it's beyond the weekend, you can't do it. So anyways, Annette, say hello.
So hello. So see, I was under the impression that this was like a Friday girls just want to have fun party. So now So I am so happy to be here with my good friend Jillian. I never miss an opportunity to chit chat. And we were chit chatting the other day, and she was talking about the book, and I was like, "Book launch, please, book launch. Just spend a little time." So I would love to start, and I love the title of this. And I know people are so indecisive. We have everybody wants to write a book. But then we have all these ideas swirling around in our head. What about this? Maybe that, maybe this. And, and that is no way to write a book. So why don't you tell us a little bit before we get started? And I was talking to you a little bit about the chapters inside. Why did you write this book?
Well, I wrote this book, I always for yesterday me. So that's the number one thing I tell people when you're thinking about who's your ideal reader. Sometimes it's you a couple of years ago. So this was yesterday me, queen of the unfinished manuscripts. But also too, I have had so many discovery calls with people that are so excited to write a book. And we get on a discovery call and I'm like, okay, how can I help you? I talk about, book editing and, writing and production and the type, the whole, the layout, the typesetting, the marketing, the whole bit. We talk about everything. And of course, they're still in the, I'm starting to write my book stage. But the problem is that most people say, I'm having a hard time figuring out what to write my book about. And they think that's a flaw. That's a character flaw. Like they would, if they were a good author, they would the idea would come to them and they'd sit down and they'd bang it out and they'd bang out their book. but they don't realize that actually the fact that you are rolling around so many different ideas in your head just shows you're a normal human being who's got a lot of experience. You've got a lot to share. And so this book is to help you take all those brilliant ideas and then narrow it down to like your top 3 choices, and then narrow that down to the first book you'll write. Because I think, Annette, most people have more than one book in them. It's not just, I'm going to write my gigantic, piece novel. That's the end of it. Most of us say, I would like to write a book about this, but I also want to write a book about this, this, and this. And they think they only get one shot. And
Mhm.
what makes the analysis paralysis. And that's not true. Just write the first book and keep the other ones parked away in a safe place. And then they'll all nicely line up. And then when you're done with one, you move on to the next. So easy peasy.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. The only person that's likely going to be writing one book is somebody who's, rich and famous and they're writing a memoir or something that somebody wants to read. Well, I'm not writing that book because nobody wants to read my memoir. So obviously we're talking about business books. And, we were talking a little bit beforehand. And in case anybody watching this does not know, Jillian's business, she is a book and author coach. So, not only buy her book, but check her out as well. So we were talking a little bit before we got started. And I mentioned the chapter that you have. I forget which number it is, but it's the book you're already writing. And, we were chatting. I decided a couple of years ago, I was speaking at an event and I had books before, but I wanted a book in my area of video. And so I went together and I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? And I grabbed stuff that I
Mhm.
had and I created the book really quickly. So for people who are, thinking about that, talk a little bit about that because I think that's the best way to start.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I love repurposing content, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel, people. People think you've got to sit down with the blank computer screen, your cup of coffee, and chapter 1 and write the book out of your head. And that's not how you write a book. You should, first of all, do an outline anyways. But the important thing is that low-hanging fruit. What content do you already have? Have you done a course? Have you done several podcast interviews? You can look at those podcast interviews and you can say, there's a common theme that I'm doing in all these podcast interviews. Or maybe you've been on LinkedIn Lives. Maybe you're a LinkedIn Live host yourself and you go live every Friday and you're just like, oh my gosh, all of this stuff I've been talking about could be a book. Yes, blog posts, all sorts of stuff. So, it can be audio, it can be video, it could be written content. If you've got a newsletter, all of these are what I call low hanging fruit. And you start with that, you repurpose it, and, you have to do some organization. And that's what Annette did. It's not like you just take, okay, I'm going to take these 7 blog posts and throw it into a book. There has to be some structure to it. But the thing is that content is already there for you to use. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, and that just makes me think. I was chatting with somebody else earlier today, and we were talking about knowledge. And it's so easy. I know for me, and I'm sure for many, you think that if you know something, you know a lot, other people know. And
Mm,
the thing is, it's so not true. What somebody else knows about LinkedIn knows way I know a little, but I don't know that much. I've done some, book writing myself. I don't know as much as you. And so I think that that's something that people really should think about. And before I throw it back to, I just want to say that people also think like I don't know enough. So,
mm,
if the leading expert is up here and your student is here, you only need to be here. You
right.
don't need to be the leading expert in whatever your book is going to be about to help and educate other people.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, Annette, I think we have an advantage if we're not way up here, if we're down here, because we remember. So for instance, your book is about video. If you were able to approach it as somebody who you knew what it was like to not be comfortable. You knew what it was like to struggle with, oh, do I do this? Do I do that? All the different choices and the complexities of video. If you were too far up, you wouldn't remember where your reader's at. So you luckily didn't have the curse of knowledge because you had only started, several years ago and you had learned yourself. So again, that's why sometimes I say we're writing for yesterday me,
Absolutely.
because you're writing the book you wish somebody would have given to you when you started video, but there wasn't any books.
No, I know it is so true. And one of the things though and maybe this is jumping the gun a little bit, but I like that you created a series. So,
Mm.
you're starting the series, you have other books also, but this is particularly for authors. And this is sort of the preface to this is the second book in the series, but it really is like the first book in the series because the second one is about from expert to author. So this is kind of like, okay, once you decide on what you're going to write about, then the next one is the sort of more of a how-to.
You
Is
nailed
that
it.
correct?
You
Yeah.
you nailed it. And I was
Well, I have
actually,
them both, so
yeah, and you nailed it because the first book I wrote was from expert to author. And I had like, sometimes you just go, how does the universe give me such a gift? I did not order my series. I did not say book one. I just said they're part of a series, which
Mhm.
thank goodness I did that because this book is actually book zero. And I wrote book one, published it, made it into a series. And then I was working on book two, which I am still working on, which is about publishing and everything that you need to know if you're going to self-publish a book, because there's so much you need to know. And I'm constantly having to teach and explain this. So I went, I need a book so I can just tell people it's in the book. So as I was writing that, I was doing discovery calls with people. And this book, it jumped the line and it said, no, I need to be written. And I said, I'm busy. I'm doing another book. And it just kept jumping up and down saying, no, you need to write me. And I was just like, all right, all right. So I pushed the other one aside and I worked on this one. And that's why it's a baby book, because it's less than 100 pages. It's tiny, but I knew it was the thing that people needed first. So what's the point of me telling you how to publish a book if you can't even figure out how to write it? So it's like I had to go back in my time machine and come up with this one. But having a series is great because now when you're done with this one, if you want to move to the next step and you say, yeah, now I know what my book is going to be, but now I need to know how to write it. Well, then you just get my next book because it's already there. And then hopefully by the time you're writing your book, I'll have that next one out ready for you. So I'll always hopefully be a little bit ahead, be there to help you. So yeah, making stuff in a series is so good because I think rather than having one big book, it's better to have small books so that people can solve the problem that they want to solve in that moment. So that's my recommendation for people. Don't do that big honking book that's like could end up being a book stop, oh great, it
Oh,
keeps my office door open.
I know. And, I remember recently reading that, I think these smaller books, like my book is only, I don't know, 125 pages or 34, something like that. It's not a big, massive book, but snackable is more in now, right?
Yeah.
Nobody really, or few people want to pick up a book that's 300 pages. I recently read a novel. It was almost 500 pages. And I gave it a really bad review, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, the author took so long for an unsatisfying ending." And this is like a, famous author. Not that it would matter, I just can't
Right.
remember who wrote the book. But, and the thing is that people want you to get to the point. They're not picking up a business book to, read a bunch of prose and, they want a how-to is supposed to teach you how to.
Solve my problem. Here's my problem. Give me the solution and let me move on with my life. That's really what they want. And speaking of moving on, I'm just going to hop over to our comments. And so we
Oh,
have,
comments.
I love comments. Okay. So we have LinkedIn user just because they're settings. We know they're really here. Hey,
Yes.
ladies, there is no sound. Okay.
No sound.
I hope they have sound now. So let's see. I have no sound. Maybe it's just them. Let's see. Sue Griffey's here. She says, "Yay and pom poms to you, Jillian." So please, somebody tell us if you're
Sue, do we
hearing.
have sound? Do you have sound?
I hope we have sound. I'm hearing sound, so I can't imagine that we would hear each other and not have sound. So maybe the LinkedIn user just had some weird stuff because I don't see anybody else saying that. Here's Tina. Tina says,
Hi, Tina.
"Congratulations to the book launch. Hello, Jillian and Annette." Tina, we want you to stay put because I have a special message for you in a minute. So it's special, special. Sue is here, Jupiter, Florida, looking at the ocean. Yay! How awesome is that?
Oh, Sue, it's so lovely to see you. Such a special, lovely person. Oh my gosh,
She
Sue.
is.
No, we
She
love
is.
you.
And she has a book coming out too.
I
soon.
know. I know.
Excited.
Can't
I'm
wait.
excited
Have
for
to do a
her.
launch party for it.
Yeah, well, pom poms at the ready. Linda Brubaker's here.
Linda.
Hi from Chicago. Jillian and Annette, congratulations on the new book. Thank you so much, Linda. I love that you're here. Thank you so much. I had to relaunch LinkedIn.
All
Now I
right.
have sound.
Yay.
Okay, good. Okay, so phew, phew. Oh, John Esperian's here, listening via YouTube. So that's kind of cool. And I don't know if John's listening in the car because I knew he was driving home from. He was, I think, in Birmingham today, and he was driving back to Wales. So I think it's kind of cool if you could be listening in the car. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, John. Yay. Linda says, love that focus. Yesterday, me. It's so true. It is so true. And, we just think about that's that curse of knowledge again of like, just remember where you were a year or two ago or 5 years ago. And, and what you help people with now. Remember what it was like when you didn't know that. And that's the book.
So I have a question for you, Jillian, and I've read your book and I've done some publishing myself. So talk a little bit about that curse of knowledge, because I think maybe some people, maybe in the audience, maybe listening to the replay that are like, curse of knowledge. What does that mean?
So curse of knowledge is really just not recognizing that what you know is your expertise. And what's easy for you is not easy for other people. And if you are hung up and you kind of go, well, I don't really know what that could be, take a poll and ask your colleagues. Ask your colleagues and say, just send a private email or a DM to all the people you know and just say, I'm trying to recognize what I talk about that is easy for me, but you really appreciate knowing about so that I can understand what I might be taking for granted is my wheelhouse of knowledge. And people will respond back to you and they'll just say, oh my gosh, you're just like so good when you talk about da 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 da. They'll fill in those gaps for you. So that curse of knowledge is really discounting our expertise and thinking, well, any idiot knows how to do that.
Well,
That's
I mean,
not true.
Say who hasn't been there though? I mean, who
Yes.
hasn't been there? But it is so true that we often just underestimate. What do we know? And people are nice. Basically, people want to help. If
Exactly.
you say, "Hey, Jillian, what do you think what am I known for?" People, your friends want to help you, and it's as long as you're specific, it's a very easy ask.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, I'm open. So anybody wants to know what their thing is, send me a DM, send me an email. I'm happy to help. Linda Jane Turner is here with her sunflowers. I love her sunflowers. And I got to meet her yesterday as we filmed a podcast episode. So that was awesome. So she says, hi from Prague. Congratulations on your new book. Thank you so much for coming. And she is just a delight with her gorgeous red hair and her sunflowers.
I love that hair. Oh my gosh.
It's just beautiful. So yay. Thank you for being here today. And John says, congratulations on getting the new book out, Jillian, grabbed via Kindle earlier today. So yay, everybody, please, yes, get it via Kindle, 99 cents. Screaming deal. Felipe is here. We're just huge Felipe fans.
Hello, my friend.
Felipe fans. And he says, hello to two of my favorite people. Congratulations on your continued success. I have learned so much from the two of you, Jillian and Annette. So thank you, Felipe.
One of the nicest
He
people. Oh my
is.
gosh. I
He
just
is.
love
He's
him so
great.
much.
And he says, writing a series is a great strategy. It's what is working for me. It keeps us inspired to keep writing if we have the content to write. So that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. So now, if I can take out 1 minute, my book shares a birthday today with Tina Jarvitt. And it's kind of cool that that happened because the last book that I published with Tina. It was like weird coincidence. And it was Jeff Young's birthday. So I just went,
Oh,
what
wow.
is it that I pick launch dates that are like my friends' birthdays? But I'm never going to forget I'm never going to forget the launch day of my book because it's the special day of my friend. So anyways, I thought, since it's Tina's special birthday, I'd make her a little video. So if you don't mind, Annette, I'm going to
Oh, I would
play it.
love it. I
It's
would
like
love it. You know how I
all
love
of
video.
15 seconds. It's
Okay.
like the shortest video, but this one's for you, Tina. So let's hope it plays. Here we go.
Happy birthday, dear Tina.
Why is it not playing?
Happy birthday, dear Tina.
Meow, meow, Tina, it's your special day. We purr and we sing in a kitteny way. May your cake be sweet and your wishes come true.
Happy birthday, Tina.
Happy birthday, Tina. So I just wanted to do something fun for you because I know you wish you could just be here, and she's off having cake and she's going on vacation today for her birthday. So anyways, I just wanted to shout her out because it's so
well,
fun.
it's later in the day where she is, so I hope she's having a little something more than cake. I mean,
Yes.
should be
Yeah.
a celebratory champagne or something.
Moving on to the champagne, moving on. So speaking of videos, because I just showed a cutesy, because I don't have cats that are singing to Tina in my house.
Really? Oh, I thought
really
they sounded, I
don't.
thought it was
No.
real life. Oh, okay.
I
All right.
really
AI?
don't.
Oh, okay.
So that was using AI, and somebody had asked earlier, so how are you making these videos? Well, I'm making these videos because Annette showed me the coolest tool in the world, which is called Sora. And I have thanked her over and over again for, getting me involved with using Sora. So today, I don't know if you go to my profile, you'll see I did the cutest little video with this dachshund, and he's waking up, he's excited, he's blowing up balloons, and he's putting them all over the house and getting my book ready. And it was just so fun. And that's the tool that I used. And it was 100% free. I haven't had to pay for anything. And literally, your challenge is the creativity of the prompts that you give AI. So you might have to kind of say, that wasn't quite what I was looking for, and redo it a couple of times. So I find I might have to do 3 or 4 times before I kind of get what I want. But what do you have to say about using AI videos?
I love those videos with the little dachshund, and that is in memory of your departed Max. Or was it Max?
Yes.
So Jillian had a little Max dachshund, and I think of that every time I see the videos with the little dachshund. I think about you and your little pup. So look, I love them. I was playing around with it during the Olympics, and I had Katie competing in the figure skating and stuff like
That's
that.
her dog. That's her dog. Katie's her
That's my
dog, not her
Katie, that's
daughter.
one of our dogs. Katie and Emma are dogs. So our dogs do all kinds of things on video. I have created videos of me teaching dogs how to do video, but I have to say that you play with it. You're much better prompter than I am when it comes to Sora, and I have to get back to it. But I love AI. I love the videos, and so many people talk about like, AI, but those videos are watermarked by Sora. So,
Yep.
that they're AI. And if you post it on LinkedIn, they also mark it. I think theirs is like a little CR
Right.
that they put on it. So, I mean, AI writing, yes, okay. I don't know that that's being flagged yet. But with video, it's not like you're hiding anything. It's not like
No.
when there's me teaching dogs and the dogs are making videos, or that's not really real. Or the little dot. Well, I don't know, little dachshund. If you've trained it right, might be able to. I don't know.
Maybe
I
you
want to hear
could
it
blow up.
talking.
Yeah, it's like next rescue dachshund, I'm going to make him pass a test. Can you blow up balloons? Otherwise, you don't get to come home with me. So thank you for those comments. And so with live video, so you got AI video on one hand, and then you've got recorded video in the middle, and then you've got live video. And the
Mhm.
reason why I love leaning into live video is because you don't need a script. It's like Annette and I are just here. We're chatting. We don't have teleprompters going. I don't have any notes here. We're just like whatever we're talking about, we're talking about. But here is the magic of what you can do with a live. After this live is over, of course, now there's the replay, and the replay will live on in YouTube land and LinkedIn land and whatever. So the replay stays forever. But also, too, I can download this recording and I can repurpose this into shorts. I could make YouTube shorts. I could make a video and put it on my website, on my book launch page, all these different things. I can take the content that we talked about. I could turn this into an article. And I do that many, many times where I do a live. I take the transcript, and now I convert that into a LinkedIn article or a blog post article. And if you're an author, think outside the box. You could be doing a live like this for your own book launch. I do formal lives for people. That's a service I provide, and you have to pay for it. But you could do this on your own. You can sign up for StreamYard or Restream, and I'd suggest you even pay for it. Don't even just do the free one because you want all the downloads and, all the good stuff that comes with it. But, you could be doing this, like maybe you did your book 2 years ago and you're just like, my book's not getting much love. You live, and you could say, hey, I want to talk about my book because it's been a while, and you could get on a live. You could talk about your book. You could talk about, how people are using your book and why you wrote the book. It's never too late to promote things, and live is so forgiving. Don't you think, Annette?
It is. And I know you and I have both said that being on a live, particularly if you're with someone else, with a friend. First live I ever did, 2021, I had my good friend Lisa come on with me, and that's how I did my first live. And, it makes it so much easier. And it's also, if you can do stuff like that, it's an easy entree to creating video, creating, your own talking videos or marketing videos. So,
Exactly.
and it is, and, I will say that having a friend, doing it with a friend makes it so much easier,
It does.
but I recommend it as well. And we also were talking about Substack. Now, Substack
Yes.
is really, leaning into live right now. I belong to a little group over there, and the woman who runs it, she's like, come on, get out there, make those lives. And, so I have to, it's on my list. I've only done one, and I have some planned coming right up, some with me alone, some with friends like Jillian. And, yeah, I mean, live is, there really is nothing like live. I mean, video, I think, is the next best thing to live, but live video is even closer.
Because it's so authentic. And that's what I like about live streaming, is that we can't fake it here. I could have recorded video and have a crew doing, and I've had clients that have said, I want a video like her. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what she's got. She could have a whole crew following her. She could be in a studio, and that teaches people how to just do video on their own. You don't need that studio, but it can be stressful to do recorded video. You got to remember what you're going to say and all this. You get on a live and you can just say, whatever happens, happens, and like Annette said, have a buddy. And if you want to do live by yourself, I did an unboxing video with one of my book launches. And I literally just said, well, you know what? I could fuss and, use my phone and stuff, or I could just get on StreamYard and open up the box and do it live and have people talking to me. And see, that's the thing, is like, you can always flip those comments and have people talking to you. And you know what? Even if nobody's watching, there's the replay. So
Yep.
you get that second chance. It's just
Yeah.
so
And
cool.
I think a lot of people do watch the replays. So, I know
Exactly.
I'm more of a replay than live watcher myself.
Exactly. Well, Annette, we have reached the end of 30 minutes, so I don't want to keep us long. I just wanted this to be short and sweet. Once again, everybody, if you want to get my book, 99 cents, book launch price, today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all weekend long. You can get it 99 cents over at Amazon. This link is geographic, which means that whatever country you're in, it will take you to that applicable Amazon store. So that's why I have it like that. So there we go. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody and thank you for whoever joined us. And we'll see you for the next book launch. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Annette. Bye, everybody.